All right, today we're gabbing with Courtney from Two Judgey Girls. I was just on two episodes of her amazing podcast talking about the current shows airing, and so I had to have Courtney back on my podcast to break down two pretty kind of layered and big episodes of Orange County and Miami that we got this week. So, Courtney, thanks for being here. Happy Friday. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on. Sometimes like people will come on ours and then I'm like, but do they like really want to hang out with me again? So I'm excited.
Yeah, no, we've
Excited.
like we've like coexisted in this Bravo podcaster world for a while now
I
together, but and
know.
we've been trying to make it happen, and finally the stars aligned, and
Thank God.
I'm so happy they have.
Me too, because I also agree. Like, I felt these were like, it pains me that these episodes are on back to back because I think that
Me
they
too.
are. I've had this like conversation about why people aren't watching Miami. I can't figure out why, but that's neither here nor there. But it's like they're delivering such strong episodes that having them back to back, I feel like is a disservice for those that are like locked in on these seasons. I need something else during my week. It's too much of a high for both.
And it's also I do these like listener mailbag episodes, and one came out today, and the two of the questions were directly about why the fuck did they move to Miami to right after Orange County on Thursdays, which is like in the
At
summer,
least
like I'm more likely to
Tuesday.
have plans on Thursday. Like it's like harder to, and it's harder for the release schedule. Why do you have any idea why they did this?
I think, well, I would assume it's because Miami maybe is not pulling in the live ratings, and so they want OC as a lead
Yeah, I
in.
figured that too.
And I assume as well as that we are getting programming that's coming. Like I always feel like every year around BravoCon, they stack all
Yeah.
these things. Like we get premieres, we get trailers, we get all this stuff like lead in. So I think like Vanderpump starts like right before BravoCon. So it's like they're almost opening it up to throw like we're gonna have too much. We'll be too full from all the shows
I
that they're gonna
know.
be feeding
And then it
us.
becomes really stressful. It's like
Me
I
too.
like being more balanced out, you
Me
know?
too. It's like I
Yeah.
always joke like I'm like, okay, we complain about one thing and then they go, give us like the total other side of the spectrum. I'm like, wait, hold on. I want to go back to that.
I
I didn't
know.
know how good I had it when I wasn't like stressed out about missing a night of TV.
Literally, I know, I know. So I mean, listen, beggars can't be choosers, but it's not my ideal schedule right now
Yeah.
with the viewing. But so we Orange County,
Yes.
it picks back up with Tamara has just quit, or she just stormed out of the dinner, posts the Instagram story,
We're gonna air
and
quote quit.
yeah, air quote quit. And it's just funny because they just like continue the trip. Like they
Yeah.
kind of like they sort of laugh about the post she did from the airport where she like puts the mental health is wealth sticker or whatever it
With a
said.
Kelly
Um,
Clarkson song.
is that what it had on it?
She had like a Kelly Clarkson song like Catch My Breath or something like that
Oh,
as the
interest.
music.
Okay, wow, that's very on the
So
nose, but
yeah,
you
I
know.
mean keep me in the NBC Universal family too. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, thank God. Yes, thank God. Kelly Clarkson show host Kelly Clarkson. Put some respect on the name.
Yes.
Um, and I feel like not much else happens on the rest of this trip. We have like this kind of like annoying Gina freak out about like the anxiety on the boat, and then like, but also Shannon's also being really kind of like annoying
What
about
was
like
up
showing up
that with
late,
that?
and it was kind of weird, right? Like, what
Like
was with the eyelashes?
all of them were talking about lash glue, which is like so funny to me. I as a woman, like I can't do eyelash. Like my eyes are so sensitive, so I can't put lashes on. So I'm also very jealous of women that can always do this. And we've had so many eyelash lines on Bravo too, which is like
Yes.
hilarious. I'm like I can think of three off the top of my head of Sheena, Tinsley, and Jenna
Yep.
Lyons. Um, but it's like they're so concerned about it. I'm like, you guys are all wearing sunglasses. Like, what are we
So true.
so? And I'd also mentioned earlier this week when I was talking with OC earlier in the week, and I was saying it's like it's so funny to me because this trip I was like, when are they going on a gator tour? Like that's what I want to see. I want to see their faces like pulled back a bit from the
Yes.
wind and like
Uh-huh.
and their extensions going wild. And I don't feel like we spent that much time there either.
No, we didn't, but we did get this really great little shady editing moment when the guy is talking about how male alligators are deadbeat dads, and then it just
Hmm.
has this really quick cut to Gretchen, which just
Well,
was perfect.
and I'm like, we should all just start calling Slade alligator. Alligator
Yes.
smiley. Like
There we
that should
go. It
just
kind of
be
works. Kind of
Emily
rolls off the
sets to
tongue.
do. Yeah, I kind of love it. I just there are so many like little funny things that editors do on all of these shows that just make
Hmm.
me laugh because it's like if you catch it, hilarious, and if you miss it, it doesn't mess with the plot.
No, at all. And if you miss it, one of the fan accounts will post it, and you won't
Literally.
miss it the day after. So
Oh my God. I know I'm skipping ahead, but you had posted it and it made me laugh so hard that Larsa and Mary Cosby pickup that they did that where Larsa was like, I would unfollow my grandfather, and then it was a
Oh my God.
photo of Mary Cosby and being like, there's two type of women in this world.
Screamed.
I have never laughed hard because it took me a second to be like, oh, grandpa fucker, and then
Yeah.
I'm following my grandpa. Like there are two
No,
types of women.
literally, there's two types of anybody in this world, and it's
And for
yeah.
someone to pick that up, I'm sorry, I'm taking
Oh
us off
no,
the track. Back.
no, but the fandom's mind can really bring
It's
true
so
gifts to us all, and that was one of
so
them
good.
for sure. That
So
was one of them for sure.
funny.
But I feel like the rest of the trip wasn't that notable. They went to this dinner, and Gretchen's just sort of like defending Katie, and they're still talking about this whole thing with the blogger and Kiki Monique, and
Is Kiki getting a payday?
I hope so. She's appearing on next episode,
I
so
mean, it's so crazy. Also, though, at that dinner, one of the funny things was too is literally watching Gina try not to choke on an oyster
oh yeah, that was
while
funny.
they're like like while they're talking about how much they talk too much, like Emily and Heather. And I'm like, is anyone gonna? We're just gonna let that go. We're gonna let that go. Okay, all right. But I need to talk about this blogger storyline because
Yeah, let's talk about it.
it is so confusing because I was like kind of convinced that Tamara had somewhat started it to try to get ahead of all the naked waste and stuff. And I don't know if I'm totally unconvinced yet, except that I do know, I think I know. Did Gretchen and Slade actually start it?
So my read on it,
Okay.
based on what we saw on this most recent episode, is that Gretchen did tell Katie at this group dinner, this three couples dinner with Katie, Jen, and Gretchen and their spouses,
Hmm.
that she the morning after morning naked wasted, she really felt sick, went to the hospital, and a toxicology report said that she had drugs in her system. And I feel like
How sick was she? I don't mean this in like a rude way, but
no,
it's
I don't
like a
know.
hangover. Like, was she going in for an IV? Like, she had to be, not that I don't think she was severely drunk. I've seen the episode, but like, she went to the hospital.
I know. And as I was talking to another podcaster, and he was like, there should be like proof somehow that Gretchen even went to the hospital. Like I like,
Mhm.
but we obviously get this moment in the episode that shows that Gretchen has been lying about this, where she
Yes.
whispers to Tamara in the car at one point on the New Orleans trip, I did go to the hospital. And then the producers cut, thankfully, to Gretchen's confessional where she said, I never went to the hospital. And so she clearly did go to the hospital.
Like
She
these
clearly
women
told
drink
Katie
their
this.
martinis and they don't eat the food and then they don't remember what they said.
Yes, and that's great for us because
Yeah.
we get the producer checks, we get them lying,
Yeah.
and so Gretchen's caught in a lie there. So I do believe they told Katie this,
I think so
and I
too.
believe that Katie then repeated it to Kiki Monique.
But did
And
Gretchen tell her to or not? That's where I'm
oh,
like,
I'd
where
love
did
to
we?
know.
Yeah,
I'd
like
love to
that's the
know, but
twist that I'm like, is she covering for Gretchen because Gretchen kind of was like, Katie, like Katie says, "Oh, I'm gonna get lunch with Kiki," and Gretchen's like, if you want to mention it,
and it's
or is she
but
just a chatty Kathy?
right, I think she is a chatty Cathy, and I think one of the issues in this whole thing is like later in the episode, Katie talks about how she feels like a pawn in this whole thing and they really used her. But she lets herself be used and manipulated so easily. And that's really one of my biggest issues with her. Because I feel like there are things about her that I do genuinely like and enjoy, and I think there are promising about her. And then there's so much of this where it's like, one, say this at the table. Like we've been talking about this at several dinners, and you have
Yes.
lied and said that Gretchen never told you such a thing. And I think that Katie is getting off on not technically lying because Gretchen maybe didn't ever say that Tamara roofied her, and maybe Katie didn't tell Kiki Monique that Gretchen thinks that Tamara roofied her, but she did say that she woke up the next morning with drugs in her system. And so,
Yes.
like, what's the implication there? You know what I mean? It's like, I think they're getting off on these technicalities and semantics, and it's like, we're not
Yeah.
idiots. I hate when they do
Yes.
this.
I also feel too is that like Katie's like biggest crime is not talking to these bloggers, right? Which they all keep saying is like, you're talking to the bloggers. Like, you guys all do that because Gina literally had one of their phone
Yeah,
numbers
the
to call them and
journalist, the
confirm,
credible
right?
journalist, quote unquote.
Credible journalist. Like, and then I'm like, and how does the credible journalist have this story? Like, was Kiki talking to them or was
Kiki must have
Katie
told him, I
talking?
think, or I don't
I'm
know.
just Like, I don't understand what the timeline is of the whole thing. And then it's like, you guys all talk to them. So, like, Katie, your biggest fault is not necessarily that you talk to these bloggers, right? Which they're harping on. It's like, you guys need to harp on the fact that she's like a liar. And I know that they do, but it's seemingly that they're holding on to the blogger storyline more so than Katie being a liar. Though I don't think that Katie has lied. I,
I think she no, I think she did lie about she was covering for Gretchen because
yes.
Slade called Matt and asked her to cover for her, but she still again she did lie about it. She has said that I mean, maybe it's not technically lying because she didn't say roofied, but she is lying. She's misrepresenting the truth at best, I think.
Yeah, I guess it's just like I'm like it's kind of like semantics. Like I was talking about this with Ben from
Uh-huh.
Watch What Crappens, and we were saying like, okay, well, Heather did lie about the paparazzi, whether she wants to admit it or not. Come on, those are staged photos, right? I really do think that Gina actually, in some way, not that maybe she was using Heather for her connections, but it doesn't hurt that Heather has connections if she wants to use it for real estate. And I'm sure maybe just
Definitely.
got misconstrued, right? Shannon, she said she like didn't record because she really didn't do anything with the recording that ended up going anywhere. But she like did, but like Shannon, she wouldn't have recorded if you like didn't get to that point. Like I guess it's just like all semantics for me of like she's technically not lying because Gretchen asked her to cover for her, so it's like there's nuance in everything in a way that I'm
Yeah.
just and so it's like she's lying, but she's not. So she needs to. Katie's biggest mistake is just not laying it out all on the table of like, yeah, I did these things, but it's really not that big of a deal when you look at it in the long run because it just might have been a misuse of words. This is a really bad game of telephone.
A really bad game of telephone. She defends herself really poorly, and
Yes.
and I feel like in her first season, I'm like, okay, I get it, you're new here, but at this point, I'm like, Katie, you got to just like you're kind of like that's I think
Yeah.
what's frustrating to me to like I can't get fully on board with her because she's at the dinner table, you got to just like fucking like
Yeah. There's
say
no
your piece.
alliances. You have to save yourself. Like it's a dog
And
eat dog
clearly nobody's
world.
defending you, Katie. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it's like Gretchen is sort of is using you, but she's not going to defend. She's not really going to defend you.
She's Gretchen's there until she realizes that her plan is backfiring. So that's why she has the get together with Jen and Emily at Goat Tavern, which Goat Hill Tavern, by the way, is like this dive bar in Orange County. Okay. Like they've
It's
gone here a couple of
hilarious.
times on this
Yeah, they
show.
went here
And
last
it
season.
and it's so funny to me because every time I see it, I'm like, do you know how many times I have been there in my like
Really,
and just like in my like young 20s, and then
I
they're all
love
there
it.
like glam to the gods, you know? And I'm like,
In
enjoy
the
standing
fur.
up at the table because it's too sticky to sit down, you
I'm
know?
dead. That is no, it's I honestly love the juxtaposition of that. It's great.
Totally. But it's also like we were saying too, it's like, you know, when you're like, you watch a New York show and they go to places in New York that you've like been to, there's like, it
Yes.
kind of makes you love it a little bit more of like, oh, okay, these are like local haunts I've been to or I've had dinner there, like
Oh
whatever.
yeah, yeah. Summer House was filming yesterday at a bar around the corner from my old apartment. I'm like,
Amazing.
LOL.
Yeah.
Like 23-year-olds go there. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Sorry. But to bring it back to that, I was
Yeah.
saying like, you know, I will go on tangents. Please bring
Oh,
me
I
back
love
in.
this. No.
But I'm like, Gretchen was smart because she's played this game before. She's like, okay, I got to cut Katie now. I'm going to get Emily because Emily will tell Tamara, and that's actually who I need the message to get to. But I can't go straight to Tamara because we're quote unquote feuding.
Yes.
So, like, Katie, you're done.
Yeah, but it's like, but then I get back to this, the other sort of unanswered part for it for me is like Tamara finding out about it and getting I think, and somebody, I wish I remembered who exactly, but somebody replied on Twitter to me and they were like, well, it really feels like Gretchen and Jen had this plan to like kind of take Tamara down by kind of bringing this, by planting all these seeds and stuff.
Yep.
But Tamara got wind of it much earlier than they expected. So their ducks were not in a row and
100%.
so that's so she kind of nipped their plan in the bud by bringing that's how that's why she brings it up because
Mhm.
I think on the surface you're like why would Tamara bring up an accusation that she roofied somebody 15 years ago, you know what I mean, like why would she bring that up herself? It's because she needs the Gretchen and Jen plan to not come to fruition.
Well, because Tamara doesn't have friends. She has alliances, right? So, like,
Right.
Tamara's game is I will give you a piece of information and take you off the hot seat if you go ahead and take your alliance out, and we'll be a team because the enemy of my enemy is my friend right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like what I feel like is going on. And so, but it's like, yeah, Tamara, because Tamara also does, I can't stand Tamara, but you do have to respect in the way of how she plays the game. Like, oh God,
See,
she's
you
my
and I
hate to
differ on
hate villain.
Tamara and I love it. I love how we
I know. I can't stand her, but I do have to recognize that she's like kind of plays the Lindsay Hubbard game of like, I'm going to
mm,
keep pieces of information until filming happens because if I need to drop it, I'm going to take you out.
yeah,
Like, she doesn't
absolutely.
have any friends. I'm sorry. I do not believe that Tamara has friends in real life. because everything
I
is
don't know.
always
I
such
don't
a
really pay
game.
attention to her. I would agree with
I'm
that
blocked,
partly.
so I'm
I think
blocked, so
that's
I
just,
actually have no
oh,
idea.
really?
Oh
Wow.
yeah, we've been
Okay, you're
blocked for a while.
that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Badge of
mean,
honor.
also, but also like it's not like I ever would comment on. I'd never comment on anything. I'm sure if she maybe saw things or things were forwarded to her from like things that we've said, maybe she blocks it. But I'm like, I will never talk shit to your face. I do it behind your back like a normal person, you know? So,
Exactly.
but she blocks it. So, but I have to assume
Yeah.
like Teddy's not her friend. Teddy's her business partner.
Sure.
A
Yeah, and they're friends
friendly.
through business. Right. Yeah. And like, but to me though, it's like, and I like what Tamara represents for the show because I think that without her, nothing would be happening. But
Fair,
and
fair.
so
I'm coming around.
but I completely understand and like I have no judgment for people that I'm not a judgy girl about people who dislike Tamara. I'm not like that much on board with her. It's just like I appreciate her presence on the show. But I do think it's interesting, and I replied to you on threads about this. Like I
Yeah.
really feel like Tamara's the only one that didn't really lie here, in my perspective. Like to me, even if Katie is technically not lying, I think she's lying. I think that Gretchen lied. Jen is lying on this. She's
Yeah.
protecting Gretchen too. Like she was at that dinner and says that she's kind of had conflicting statements about what she knows about Naked Wasted and what Tamara has said in this situation in particular.
Sure, sure.
It's not wrong. It's not.
Vindicated, but still vindictive, I will say onto that. But and I said to
Of
you,
course.
anything with Tamara, I'll move the goalposts. I'm very well aware of like
Hmm.
the nonsense that I spew here, by the way. Like I know that I'm like,
I
you
don't
know
even
what?
think it's nonsense. I just,
I just also feel I'm like none of this would even be a situation if Naked Wasted didn't happen, right? So
absolutely. That's
like
correct.
at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, I'm moving the goalpost because the whole situation is still from Tamara.
Mhm.
So I don't feel bad not like someone's like, you better eat some crow. You thought Tamara, oh, eat crow? Hell no. I'll just find another reason why I don't like her because she still did this whole thing. The whole thing is still there. The
Hmm.
Roofie storyline is kind of wild if Gretchen made it up and there's no toxicology report. And I'm also like, you guys,
Yeah.
unfortunately, you guys are getting outplayed by Tamara again.
Yeah. She's playing chess and they're playing checkers right now.
Yes. And it's like,
And
I want a Tamara's takedown season. I think when they go after Tamara and someone gives her a taste of her own medicine, I actually think that's the best formula for me because I don't
mhm.
like her always having control of everybody. So I appreciate the fact that Gretchen's trying. But again, Tamara, she got him.
Yeah, well, that's what I said last season a lot. I'm like, there was nobody taking it to Tamara in the way that she was taking it to everybody else. It's like, why didn't
Mhm.
Shannon, it's a low blow, but why didn't Shannon bring up the kids and like her, you know what I mean? Like that's such an easy,
Yes.
if you really want to hit Tamara in the way that she hits you, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I do commend the effort, but I also
Mhm.
think that one of the big issues with even just like, let's say this had kind of really come to fruition and worked, like it's still so in the weeds. It's way too reliant on this like ecosystem that we're both a part of, like
Yeah.
that kind of commentates on these shows. And we know that everyone's in contact with different people at different times, but like that's not interesting TV. It's not about anything that anybody's done that we can watch happen. It's all about like
Yes. It all
who
happened
repeated
off
this, and
camera.
that's the wrong direction for OC to be going in. It really
I
is.
agree. And it's also just like I'm actually glad that Kiki's going to be on next week because I'm like we like she doesn't get to say her side on the show, right? So you either have to go find where Kiki's potting from, or you have to follow her account, or you need to see like what she's saying. If you miss that because it's on social or you don't listen or whatever, you're not getting the full story. So the fact that
Totally.
she's coming on next week, I think is like in her benefit for this. But I'm also at the end of the day, I'm kind of like, this is such a crazy, like weird storyline to be having that I'm like, I don't like it.
Yeah, and it's like I'm glad she's saying her piece, but also it's her having to come into their territory and like she's still at the behest of the editing and like you know what I mean? So that's still
Exactly.
not it's tough. It's really honestly tough, and I just think that this kind of stuff is why Jersey was put on pause. And I don't think OC is close to that, but like we have to like not continue in this direction after this season because this is
Almost like
not what it's about.
Bravo maybe should like put a clause in of like there's a difference of being like friendly with like podcasters,
Yeah,
bloggers, or
of
you go on
course.
their pod and you like give your side of the story and like especially like you have so many guests on yours, right? And you're like pretty impartial in a way of like allowing them to tell their story, which is so lovely because I think that makes it for such a safe space. those are the kind of things that should be like sanctioned in a way, and not necessarily this behind the scenes of like, show me a DM. Oh, there's a
Right.
video chat missed call. Oh, we have to blur out whoever they were talking to because they didn't give permission, but it's
It's
moving
so
the
tedious.
storyline.
It's so tedious.
It's like
Like
there's
it's
a
just
I need Adriana's like Inspector Gadget hat to put on to find all the details of what's going on so I can investigate.
literally,
Like
yeah, it's
it's a
just
full-time job.
yeah, no, it's and if we can't figure it out, then like again, like the really casual viewer, like they must be really, really confused.
I would love to because like I need to chat with like my Bravo chat group and ask their opinions on it because yeah, I'm like I get too involved in the sense of where I'm like, okay, I can see why this is going there, but I'm like, if someone who just kind of pops in, maybe they watch it on Saturday, hungover on their couch. I'm like, what are you guys thinking?
Mm-hmm.
What are you
Mm-hmm.
thinking? What or like, am I so off base, or is this like coming across? Because some people will be like, obviously that's what happened. I'm like, oh, okay, I thought I had a nuanced take, but like I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but then sometimes it's like, oh, it's not as clear to the average viewer what's going on because
No.
they don't follow 150 different Bravo accounts or Bravo related accounts or Bravo Lab accounts to know what's happening.
And that should not you shouldn't have to like have the whiteboard out to connect the dots to follow these shows. That's when it's too much, and
Yeah.
that's when they have to pull it back. The last thing I want to bring up is it was interesting towards the end of this episode when we had that Katie confessional where she was like, they asked her about the situation and she goes, she starts talking and then
Here's the thing.
she goes, wait, am I telling the truth right now or am I protecting Gretchen? And I thought that was so,
What a soundbite.
it was a really interesting moment. And I kind of feel like my read on that, just
Hmm.
to share,
Please.
is I think that was one of the later filmed confessionals. So I think that she filmed that later after she's fully fallen out with Jen and Gretchen. And
Yeah.
so, but because they filmed confessionals like at so many different times, she
Hmm.
was asking the producer essentially, wait, should I be acting as if this is earlier in the season or later in the season?
Oh, we're getting like a fourth wall break right
That's
there at the
sort of
end
what
of
I
the
thought that
story.
was. You know what I mean?
That's a great. I mean that makes total sense. I love that.
And how
Look at you with your
fascinating.
hat on.
I have my fucking hat on. But how fascinating is that? Like, that's how this works. Like, am I telling the truth or protecting Gretchen right now? Like, that's crazy.
Yes.
That's a crazy thing to say on a mic.
I'm also like this reunion. I don't know if you saw it too, but some of the after show for OC picks came out today. Katie's by herself, like filming by
Fully by
herself.
herself. Oh
She's by
shit.
herself. It's Gretchen and Tamra. It is or no, I'm
Gretchen,
sorry.
Gretchen and Tamra.
Gretchen and Jen. So sorry. I know I got my
Okay,
blonde.
yeah, that makes sense.
Tamra, Emily, Gina, and then Shannon and Heather.
Okay, that makes sense. But Katie alone is rough. That's
Katie
rough.
alone is rough because it's like in real life right now, apparently her and Tamara are kind of in an alliance, but you can't have them sit with each other right now because there obviously
Yeah.
is like this whole roofie storyline. And then it's like the whole thing is so crazy because the thing that Tamara does is she will just take whatever alliance, she'll just take a number.
Yeah.
Like
What's
I need to have the
convenient to in the time.
majority. And
Right.
so the fact that she's got Katie on her side right now, I'm like, this reunion's going to be insane because we know that Katie doesn't go to Amsterdam with the group. It seems like she might stop filming at a
Right.
certain point. And so it's like, this is going to be, I think, an explosive reunion.
I actually temporarily forgot that she doesn't go on the trip. And she
Yeah.
kind of has this weird ending to the season. And but it's interesting because like on Watch Happens Live and she's doing press, like she's still very much engaged with it. So it doesn't seem like she's done with it necessarily. But it's just Tamra, if Tamra is her lifeline on this show for the next season, that's a wild plot twist.
Yes. Did you see that one clip that's been floating around about her like almost PR person, Katie's almost PR person?
Yes.
What are your
Yes.
thoughts on that? Because I was kind of like, ooh, if I
So
was going to hire you, I would not.
no, I thought it was a terrible look for that guy. I thought that he was like
Yeah.
spilling all this crazy stuff. And I actually, I didn't watch, it was posted by, I think, Bravo's Snark side, like that account that posts like the snarky page.
Hmm.
And I had watched the first clip, but I hadn't done the sort of swipe. And it was sent to a group that I'm in. And I went back to click into it and watch it again, watch the full thing, and the sound had been taken out. And I think it's back. I think the clip is back online, but this is actually a little tea.
Yeah,
Some,
please.
somebody told me that Katie actually sent a cease and desist to him about that clip because
Okay, honestly, as she should.
I think it's crazy that he used to be her unofficial PR person, Like I wouldn't want you to represent me as a PR person if you're saying that. Like that was
Not at all.
wild. That was
Not at
wild.
all. Yeah, like he basically was saying like she was like, "Can I be like a co-host on?" And all these people are always like giving information without showing the proof. So I'm like, show me a text
And
that says that. And
and
also, you're a terrible PR person if you're giving that. Like, I used
also
to work
think
in PR. You
ahead.
can't give
Yeah.
that stuff. Like,
Think
what?
ahead though for your career. Like why are you sharing this so off the cuff like this?
Exactly. Like it threw me off so much where I was like, what? You're blowing your career because why? Even if I have an NDA, I don't know that I trust you. Like that's
Hmm.
crazy. And like also it felt like a low hanging fruit because it's like obviously everybody is like ganging up on Katie right now, which to me, I'm like, nobody on this cast right now is likable for me in a like everyone's a loser, but it's makes me enjoy the show. But I'm like, but you have me rooting for Katie because everyone's so against her. And like as soon as like it all starts moving towards one person, like, well, now I like
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, the gang ups never work. That's
Ever.
it's kind of wild that so many Housewives casts still have not learned that the gang up really never goes the way they
No.
that the mob mentality wants it to go.
It's like you guys know the formula. And so for some reason you think that you're so right that the audience is going to agree with you, not realizing that you could be right, but editing is going to make like editing plays no favorites unless you're Sheena
No.
Shea and you get that one editor who hated you so much,
Oh
you
my God,
know?
never forget. Oh my
Never
God,
forget.
crazy.
But it's like, so I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
And Courtney, before we go to Miami,
Yes.
just a really important shout out to a man named Cody, the waiter.
Oh, what a man. What a
What a
man, what a
beautiful
man, what a
man.
mighty fine man.
And I posted about him on the Gabbing with Gib Instagram page. And you know what one of the big comments was? Hey, at two Judgey Girls. I think you have a March Madness inductee for next season.
I feel terrible because I had to respond because they posted it in a story too, and I had to DM and say, I'm so sorry, we don't do side characters anymore. We used to. We used to have,
We've become too
like
big. We've become too
Brad the
big.
dog trainer, but then it was like there's too many like I don't want to call them random because they're human beings, but like
But
there
they're
were too many
random.
side characters that it was like we have to just focus on house husbands and main cast members. But he was, I mean, the fact that
He
Heather
was a
and
fine man.
Tamara, they had to stop their conversation to recognize his beauty. Thank
That's when you
you.
know. That's when you
Yeah,
know. Yes,
exactly. I'm like, where's that
exactly.
restaurant? Next time I visit my mom, I'm going. Ospey, I'll be there.
Go there and then go to that dive bar. That's a good doubleheader.
Also, like I
You know
need like
what?
a late
Bring
night
him,
quiet woman.
bring him with you. You know,
Perfect, perfect. I'm like, he can't be a March Madness, but like maybe he could be my boyfriend.
there we go.
You know, we'll
Listen,
see, we'll see. I'm doing
found
my
love
own.
in a hopeless place on Real Housewives of Orange County. Okay.
Perfect, perfect.
All right, let's talk about Miami. Um, the Lisa dog pile, which is just like so wild to watch, just continues. Like we're in the middle of this dinner where she's trying to find an online notary because she has like 30 minutes to do so, and Larsa's like she's ruining the vibe. she's ruining,
Go sit in the
honestly,
corner. Everyone who doesn't ruin the vibe, you can stay here. Everyone who
it's
ruined the vibe, go sit in
unreal.
the corner.
She's unreal. It's like it's honestly caricature, and I know it's terrible, but I still like
It,
it's funny to watch. It is.
what power does she have over this cast?
I don't know.
It's
I
kind
don't
of
know.
crazy to me that they're like so like Stephanie like falls under her. Like I don't understand. And I love Lisa so much. Like
Yeah,
I
me too.
recognize Lisa is selfish, but I think we talked about this. Like Gertie and Lisa are like my top like housewives for Miami, just on likability. And I'm like, I do believe that Lenny would give her 1 hour
Yes, me
find
too.
a notary. And like, I'm sorry, those texts from Jody to Larsa were not bad. It was like, leave Lisa alone so she can get this taken care of. Like, we don't, why are we fighting? Like, the texts are like, can we not fight?
Right, right. It's like it's this funny thing. This a lot of the cast taking this like a man shouldn't be texting his girlfriend's friend or former friend. And that's one of those like weird, like old school things that some of the
Oh.
women on these shows get latched onto. It's like kind of a backwards, like old school, like, oh, a man shouldn't text a woman. And it's like, they're not sexting. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
It's not
he's,
inappropriate. It's like, can you be nice to my girlfriend for like 10 minutes so she can get this shit done? Like, I don't want to fight with you. I don't
right,
want this. Why is that a
right.
bad thing?
And yeah, that did, I mean, just the treatment of Lisa on this trip is so wild to me. It's like the dog pile over her being, I do think that she needs to get her shit together on being late. Like it's kind of like, you
Sure.
can't
Yeah.
like it was almost it made me laugh later in the episode when she's like, I'm skipping dinner, and then they're like, Marisol had told her to come to dinner, and then she still shows up late to dinner after all that. I'm like,
Only an
girl, just like
hour. Only an hour. And
one
do
of
you
them
see
said
how
two
good she
hours, one
looks?
of them said 2 hours. Listen, she looks amazing, and it's giving. Sorry, I was late. I was in glam, famous Dorit quote,
Yeah.
but I think that she should. As Adriana said about unfollowing Marcus later in the episode, she was like, "You're actually giving them something to hold against you by not
Yeah.
unfollowing him, and by her
Fair.
continuing to show up late, show up early and blow their mind." You know
Did
what I
you see
mean?
her clip from the after show where she's like, "Guys, I'm early. I'm ready
Yes,
early." I'm
yes,
like, and that's why I love
that's
when
it.
Stacey can play into it, right? And it's like,
Absolutely.
but I'm also like, she's literally divorcing this monster. Okay. Lenny,
Hmm.
I think everybody on that cast can agree to like Lenny is a monster. Like, do I think he like puts her through hoops and like does all this crap to make her life more terrible? Absolutely. Like that is his end game. He wants to ruin her. He does not want to give her a dime of anything. He would like to have these lawyers take up money after like penny after penny from her. He's
Hmm.
terrible. And it's like we're on a trip to Sevilla because Alexia might divorce her the husband she's very in love with when it's like Gertie survived cancer. We can't celebrate a trip for her. Like Lisa's literally going through this divorce and we can't give her a break in this. We have to like cater to Alexia. Like they just are so, which also is why it makes it a phenomenal housewife show
Of
as well. But
course.
it's like,
Yeah.
you guys all have your priorities so strange. Like
Yeah.
Lisa to me is so harmless at the end of the day.
It's so harmless, and it's also just like I would understand, I think, the perspective of like, oh my God, like, can this fucking saga be over? Like, of
Yeah,
course, but like Lisa
totally.
also wants it to be over. It's not like Lisa wants to be doing this still. Like she
No, I
like
agree.
and she's also, as she said, after Kiki was like, "You're always bringing up Lenny last season," she wasn't really bringing him up at all. Genuinely, it seemed
Exactly.
as though, and so like,
She was so much lighter this season.
yeah. So them like, and also it's not, again, it's out of her control that this is still happening. I don't know. It's like they want her to suffer in silence, basically, and I think that that is like really, that's not really being a good friend to her.
Agreed. But then, like, we want Alexia to tell us everything and we want to hear. So it's like, you guys have double standards for everyone. It's kind of messed up. Like, Lisa, like, yeah, Lisa would love to not deal. All Lisa wants to do is like look hot and get drunk.
Yeah.
Like that, like
Right.
Lisa, like just wants to be a party girl, and you guys are not helping her do that. Like I love that Gertie took control of the situation. Was like, Jody, don't text
Totally.
Alexia, not worth it. Don't talk Larsa, not worth it. Okay, notary first. Let's get this done. Let's get you on the way because Gertie's also a great friend and knows Lisa needs someone to like stabilize her in a way and put her on the right path so she can get it done and then be done.
That was a good Gertie intervention, unlike the last one she tried at the red flag party with Lisa and Larsa. That one did not go over well, but I'm glad she did
I
this
mean,
one.
Gertie is such the person you want on your side. It's like wild to me. Like even if we like fast forward to that dinner with Adriana and her saying
Hmm.
ratchet to Kiki, and as soon as she said that, Gertie was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
no, like Gertie is such a good friend to anybody. I mean, truthfully, I think if anybody on that cast asked for Gertie to do something, she would stop whatever it was. I mean, she went on the freaking cruise, which is like why it's a whole storyline because
Right.
Julia asked her to drop everything and do it. Like
Hmm.
be
Hmm.
nice to Gertie, everyone.
Do you, what do you think about Lisa taking notes?
I love it.
Okay.
I love. I first off, these women say things all the time and they act as if there's not a camera filming them and they're
Right.
everything that they're saying. I think Lisa is someone who is kind of all over the place. Like she's mentioned she has ADHD. She needs a place to collect her thoughts. She writes it down because you know who keeps saying, "What did I do to you? What did I do to you?" Larsa says that. So you know what?
Hmm.
I'll tell you what you did to me. Here's a list. And you know what I would have done too? I would have taken notes on every single person and sent it to the group chat.
Boom.
Collaborate with me if you'd like to.
A collaborative note. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody's welcome to put their own comments about every person. We could go ahead. You could do it anonymously too.
Or what about printing it out and taping it on their hotel room doors?
Perfect. Give Stephanie's memo for the plane and then also what Lisa thinks about you.
Can we
What did you
talk?
think? What did
Can
you
we
think about the
talk?
notes though?
Oh, the notes. I understand like them being annoyed by it and like, but I don't. I think the reaction to going to the place of like, let's put your phone in a basket is ridiculous. And like they're treating her like she's 5 years old, kind of. And like,
Yes.
also, like, again, if you're going to have her do that, everybody has to do that. But
And Julia, who has two young boys she's just adopted, said that without thinking like why she would need her phone. And
no,
Marisol to
it's
say,
crazy.
Marisol to be like, Jody can't take care of your kids. Like that's not what real love is. Like
The judgment on that whole situation from Marisol was next level. I really didn't like that. I really
that
didn't
was
like that.
correct. I was like, stop telling
Yeah.
Lisa what to do. Just like you guys.
Hmm.
And then they're like, she's getting smarter. Again, don't mess with my girls. I'll
Yeah.
defend them even when they're wrong.
Speaking of somebody who I think is dead wrong in this episode, Stephanie had a bad episode, in my opinion. This,
Well,
I am
agreed.
so, I was over it when it first happened at Marisol's party, but like the continued holding the private jet over the other women and like acting like it's like something, some prize to be won, even though you've already said, I'm going to fly everybody to, they're going to Mallorca or something like that. I think they're going to
Marbella.
We're going to Marbella.
Mhm.
I'll fly everybody there. It's a 20-minute flight, whatever. The fact that we're still like holding this over, it's like, you know what? I don't trust you guys not to do this on my plane, and we're gonna go back and we're gonna review the rules where you can't. Did you watch the after show where she talked about some of the rules? No
Yep.
pooping on her private plane in the bathroom.
Guess what I'm
No,
doing? I'm waiting and I'm
I'm
doing it.
taking. Oh
Yep.
yeah,
I'm taking.
mhm.
I don't care.
Yep. No, we're
I'm
yeah we're saving it up for her
I'm
plane.
chugging coffee. I'm drinking apple cider vinegar.
I'm
I'm taking a
dead.
laxative, and I'm getting on that plane. Going, oops.
Oops. I'm wearing zippers all over my pants. I'm
Rhinestones
I'm
and
doing
glitter everywhere.
full
Yep.
glam at the table.
Mhm.
Like some
My
it's just
dirtiest shoes.
and it's like some of the rules I actually understand, but it's the
Yeah.
way that they're delivered of like this power trip of like I have this private jet that you should all want. The fact that they even had this conversation where they were like, you know, we need to tell Lisa that she's not welcome on this flight. Lars is like, I don't feel safe being on the same flight as her. What the fuck are we talking about here? This is
Then
that's
Larsa, take the 2.5 hour drive and get
There
in
we
a
go.
sprinter van. Like, if you don't feel safe, don't ruin it for the other girls. Get in your own car. I'm also at this point, the sprinter van. I'll take first class commercial. I don't want to be on this plane.
Right. It's
I don't
just
want it.
there's too many rules. It's
And then
too
you're like going to put someone in jail on the plane, like a one person room. I'm like,
like I'm
okay, I'll
literally
take it. I'll
oh
take it. I
yeah
don't want to talk to
yeah.
any of you
I want
bitches
some alone
anymore.
time on this fucking group trip, you know? Wait,
Exactly.
it's literally, I'm literally gonna tweet this out after we stop recording. It's literally giving in Bridesmaids when Kristen Wiig is like, this is a very strict plane.
Yes, exactly. Like it's like so I'm like Stephanie, you win me over when you like go head to head with some of the castmates. I like that. Like I like keeping Alexia on her toes. I think like that's great. But then when you play the money card, it's
Oh, it's
annoying.
so
Nobody
annoying.
gives a shit that you have all this money. I'm sorry, I'm cursing on your podcast.
No, I love cursing. Do it
Okay,
more.
great. But I'm like, nobody cares that you have a plane. Like, it's nice and that's great. But let me tell you how cheap airfare is in Europe compared to
Right.
America. I can pop on a Ryanair flight for literally $45 and get to Marbella also in 22 minutes. So, like, don't try to hold this over that you've got like this great shit. Like, sorry, I'm again, I need to,
No.
it's going at to,
No, it's annoying. It's like and
yes,
unfortunately what adds to it for her is that she's the new person in this group, and
yes,
it's like who gave her all this power? Like who like the it's so wild watching Marisol, Alexia, and Larsa, who are three OGs of this show,
yes.
because Stephanie has a jet, they're like letting her run this little show right now, and I'm like, this isn't adding up to me. There's like I reject this.
I don't understand too because I'm like, and you know, Julia's seething that she was not in that end scene with them doing the seating chart,
Yes.
like that she got stuck, left at the table with the rest of them. Like I was cracking up, being like, because I know Julia was probably like, no, 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 they're conspiring without me. Like, oh God, is Stephanie gonna take my place? But I need Stephanie. Like, you just knew the wheels were turning. Like, I'm stuck with this group. I'm stuck with like Adriana and her microaggressions over here. Like, what the
Right.
hell? I'm
So
mad at her, by the way. Yeah.
speaking of, that's sort of the last thing to really talk about here. So they had these day trips where Alexia and them had gone to make tiles, and she made and A plus J tile, which I was shook by, honestly. But then on the other group, it was Lisa, Adriana, Gertie, and Kiki, and they Adriana made really good points to Lisa, as I said, about getting her to unfollow Marcus. And she was like,
Yep.
listen, I get you don't want Larsa to boss you around, and that is why Lisa was not unfollowing him. Like that's the only reason.
Yep.
But again, you're giving them something to hold against you and to really hold over your head. So just fucking do it. So she unfollows and they all make a pact not to tell anybody about it, which I don't really totally get, but like whatever. Um, and then immediately at dinner, Adriana's like, great news, Larsa. Lisa unfollowed Marcus. And she's like, oh, I don't remember making the pact because Kiki from across the table is like, Adriana, we made a
Yes.
pact not to say this. Like,
And it
she
was
called
because
it
they
out as
thought
she should.
Kiki was going to say something, by the way. The pact was because they thought Kiki would run back and say it. So it was
And
really for
Adriana was
her.
the one. Yeah, exactly. And
Yes.
Kiki was the one to call out the hypocrisy. And
Hmm.
then in response, Adriana calls Kiki ratchet, which is, of course, especially when delivered towards a black person, is a microaggression and just it's all sorts of wrong. And just it was and as Adriana this morning or last night, I don't remember. She's been
Yep.
responding to people on Instagram saying, I meant to say wretched and I said the wrong word, which, like, you can believe that or not. But either way, she told Kiki this word and it would
She
just,
doubled down on it though, too,
yeah, she
right? Like
did.
it
Oh, in the
wasn't
moment, she totally doubled down.
like she doesn't even say, "Oh, I meant to say miserable." She says that on the after show, "Oh, I meant to say miserable." And she's
Hmm.
like doubles down on it. So it's like you meant what you said. You're also a very smart woman. Like
Yes,
you
she's going to
know
Harvard.
you're going to Harvard, you speak 5 languages, you've been to 58 different countries. You're giving these tours of all this knowledge, which I was like, I would love to hire her as a
Hmm.
tour guide. She's so knowledgeable. And then you're going to play stupid. As Bethany Frankel once said, you can't play stupid and smart.
There we fucking go. And that's such a good juxtaposition in the same episode to have shown us, as you said, all that knowledge she had, and then she just doesn't know the meaning of this one
Yes.
word. It landed like a thud. Kiki immediately defended herself.
It
Gertie,
took her down. I
yeah, no,
felt
she really did.
like
She was like, you're too old to be speaking like this.
well, she
And
used her argument to Marisol weeks ago against her, right? Like calling
yes, so
Marisol old,
true.
and then
So
you call
true.
her like Kiki's like, oh, okay, so obviously old is an insult to you, which is why you did it to Marisol. I'm gonna do it right back to you because you
That's a
are
great
too old to
point.
be saying these things to me. Then she brings up the fact of like who's watching Kiki's daughters. I'm like, so you are doubling down in another way to insult Kiki. Enough.
Also, Kiki's a single mother. Like what why are you bringing that up as like a Kiki is on this trip because this is a really good job opportunity for her. And she's
Yes.
making money to provide for her kids and all these people in Haiti, by the way, who are like depending on her for money basically. And
And
like
Adriana
so
was a
just
single mother. So it's
yes,
like
so to
it
call
pisses
that
me
out was
off.
really annoying and it almost felt it almost felt like the whole thing felt uncharacteristic of Adriana for to see this between her and Kiki. Like it felt like and maybe it's not, but there was something that like really like incongruous for me to watch
Yeah.
that happen with her and Kiki, and I really love both of them, but it was a really bad moment for Adriana, and like again the doubling down and the
And honest, because Julia, who just adopted two young black boys, is also telling Adriana, don't worry about it. Kiki's overreacting. And it's like, if you can't understand the gravity of what was just said there, it actually makes I'm uncomfortable the fact that you are now raising these boys.
that's a good
And
call out too.
I freaking hate Julia. Sorry.
Yeah, it's hard to watch her. It
It's
honestly
hard.
is.
And I'm like, also just like everything she does is just like it's slimy to me. And so, like, when I heard her say that, I was like, so Adriana, who you can't stand, who you were like, I don't want her in the van. Then she goes in the other van. You're like, why is she mad at me? Blah, blah, blah. And now all of a sudden you're defending her against Kiki for something that is not Kiki's fault and was said to her so inappropriately. Like, shut up.
Yeah. No, it was fucking annoying. And then Stephanie gets up and cries, storming out. And Marisol and Alexia and Larsa follow her, and Marisol is like, that was disgusting. What Adriana and Kiki were doing was disgusting. They ruined that entire situation. And I was just like, disgusting? Like, it's not even, doesn't even hold a candle to fights that we've seen in public places between some other cast
We don't
members.
want
So,
them to know we're American. They know, babe.
what? That was crazy. I was shocked at how much they feigned, like,
Yeah. Oh,
offense
yeah.
to
Did you
that whole
notice what
incident.
Stephanie was wearing?
What was she wearing?
All red. And yet she didn't wear it on the all red night the night before.
Hmm.
I'm just saying. They're all
makes you
calculated.
think. Makes you
They're
think.
all calculated. Like, okay,
Uh-huh.
she wants to just be the star on a different night. Like, okay. Just saying.
Well, Stephanie also like in the after show, she was really placing all the blame on Kiki. And I was just like, this is so that's weird to me.
What
That's weird
happened at
behavior.
the reunion too? Because Kiki's also like on this really interesting press tour right
Yeah.
now because she's unfollowed Gertie and she's trying to like kind of defend what like why she did that, which I'm like, okay, something happened at the reunion because you've kind of gone a little bit against Gertie throughout the season, who she's only been a good friend to you. So like what happened? This reunion is also
There's a
going to be
lot
explosive.
more to the Gertie and Kiki friendship that we don't know about
Oh, you think
from
so? Or
over the years.
that you know?
Because I had her on the show, and I do know so there's like certain things I can't really say, but like there's more to
Yeah.
it
Okay.
that has not been addressed publicly, and
Publicized
like
yet? Okay.
I don't know what it's going to be on the reunion or not. Like I don't know what happens at the reunion. I just know that like in past seasons, Gertie and Kiki aren't as good friends as I think that like
That we
their
thought they
friendship
were.
was like not as like long lasting and strong. I think as like it was presenting as for a little bit there. So I
Ah,
think that like I don't know. I think it seems like a
okay.
really complicated situation, but I agree something happens at this reunion and I don't know what it is. And a
It's kind
lot
of
of
like an
people are getting kind of
apology
a lot of the things.
tour, I
For
feel like
sure. For
it
sure.
is. And like it's like Julia right when the season started, rember she posted that stupid story
Oh,
with
that
like
was terrible.
floral and terrible font that you could barely read, kind of like trying to like get ahead of the Gertie situation. And I'm like, no,
Hmm.
you guys just all suck. It's like it's making for a great season. Don't get me wrong, but you all
Yeah.
suck.
No, it's
Yeah.
wow. These were two really layered episodes,
Totally. I'm like,
Courtney, for us to talk
I could
about.
talk to you for hours about
Yeah.
this because
No,
I'm like,
this
there's
was
so much nuance and like
there
craziness and just
is.
like you said, layers. These episodes are just two large onions.
Yeah, and yeah, they're two. I think some people are you enjoying OC overall? I'm curious because some people really aren't, and some people are. I'm curious where you fall
I'm
overall.
enjoying it. Like, I think
Me
first off,
too.
we have like a lack of content right now. So I don't even want to be greedy about
Yeah, so
not
true.
having stuff. But, and again, as someone who doesn't like Tamara, I understand. I think because we're getting some pushback on her, whether it's going to fail or not, it is making it an interesting dynamic. And like I said, it's like, like, especially on OCs, like, I'm rooting for nobody. So, like, when someone's terrible to someone else, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, okay, point on their side.
Right.
Like, yeah. Are you enjoying it?
I am enjoying it. I think that
You're a lover
I
though of
no, but
shows.
no,
Like I
I
find
no,
you
I am.
appreciate all.
I am. But I am worried about the direction of it. If they don't if they don't like sort of pivot away from this after this,
Yeah.
I don't like when I don't mind a little bit of blogger drama, a little bit whatever, if that instigates something, but like we're dipping back into that pool 6 times in one season. That's too much for me.
My least favorite, and we mentioned this but before, is like when they just go after one person, I don't like it. So like I didn't like them all ganging up on Gertie. I think
Hmm.
they ganged up on Lisa, but Lisa still has like Adriana and Gertie there, where I don't feel like she had that earlier in the season. So I wasn't loving that. And then I don't love like going after Katie because it's like whatever. Like Katie is Katie. So like when it gets like spread around, then it makes
Hmm.
it more fun. Like the New Orleans episodes have been really fun for me because they kind of took a step back from just like
For sure.
attacking her.
Yeah, and I think at least on Miami, they're shifting when they're kind of
They
going after
spread
one
the love of
person.
who they
They
attack,
do.
which is
They
so
do.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really considerate of them. It really is.
Yeah.
Well, Courtney, this has been so great, and
Oh my God,
I'm
thank
so
you
happy I
for having
finally
me.
got to have you on the podcast. Really love breaking it down
I'm
with you.
like
And I
smiling
also,
this whole time. Like we're like talking, like these people are so bad, and I'm like having the biggest smile because there's nothing more fun. And I will just say, sorry to cut you off on that because that's something I do all the time. But like as Mary's been out and I've been having more people on the pod and going, elsewhere, is I will say I have been influenced in what a lot of people, especially you, have said about certain housewives or characters on these shows that have helped me like change my opinion or be more accepting. Like
hmm,
so I'm just really appreciative of having new opinions because I think it's also changed mine a bit or been maybe I'm becoming more understanding.
oh,
So thank
wow,
you.
we love growth, Courtney. We
I
love
know.
growth.
Am I growing? I'm like, and then once Mary's comes back, then I'll go back to being
There we
like,
go.
oh, I've got a one track mind. But until then,
No, but I totally agree with you because I also I don't listen to other Bravo podcasts because I don't want to steal ideas and I don't want to take
totally.
opinions. Like I really want to somehow be mostly in a bubble when it comes to like what I listen to, because
Hmm.
we don't want
Yeah.
to, but having people on your show is a way to get exposed to new opinions, and that's a nice. I always like that, and I also like that I like that we agree on a lot, but they're like you and I don't agree on Tamara, for example, and that's a big thing
Oh.
not to agree on, but we can still talk about it in a way that's like civilized and fun, and that's
Yeah, a respectful conversation without like name calling makes things just so much more fun to be like, okay, and like, I can be like, okay, well, you're wrong, but I
yeah.
do appreciate you giving me that lane to think about.
That's
No,
media.
no, I've
Talk about
said,
media training. That's good media training
no,
right there.
I will say, I'm telling you, people have really kind of turned me on to understanding that Tamara is a necessary evil. So I
Okay.
will just say, again, I don't like her, but I am understanding what she's bringing and I'm trying to be more accepting.
Bless your heart, Courtney. Bless your heart. From your lips to God's ears. When and where can people listen to Judgey Girls? How many episodes a week is it? Do all the plugs before we jump in, before we
Guys,
sign
we are
off.
all over the place. We have our Flashback Friday series. That's every Friday. So we're jumping back into old classic episodes of different
So fun.
franchises. And then you'll find like 2 to 3 extra pods a week that are talking about everything from Miami to McBee's to Orange County to like everything in between. So come hang out after you listen to this one.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yes. Thank you
Never,
for
never
having
enough Bravo
me.
podcast. Of
Never.
course, thank you for coming on. We'll do this again soon, I'm sure. And
Of
hopefully I get to see
course.
you in person at some point soon.
I know. I've got to make the trip out to New York.
You really do. And
I
likewise
know.
to LA.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Good to see you. I want to gab.